Hey everyone, Chelsea here from the Frugal Homestead. Today I'm talking about inventorying your freezer. And I'm using a freezer printable that I have to kind of update and inventory my freezers. I don't have huge freezers. We do have this upright freezer, and then this is an old refrigerator my parents gave us a couple years ago. It's refrigerator and freezer. It gives us a little bit more space. But like I said, we don't have a ton of storage. But I like to know what I have, and I haven't done a freezer inventory in a while. So I'm going to kind of show you how I do it and kind of show you the ins and outs of how to kind of update your freezer. All right, to start our freezer inventory, I have these sheets that are in the canning journal. And this is just the freezer inventory sheet. And I like to keep it really simple. I've used several different sheets in the past. I've even had a spreadsheet, and I didn't really like that. Everybody's different. I just like it simple. So the item, how many I have, and then the date I inventoried it. If you keep up on this, you can have it the date that you actually purchased it, the date you put it in the freezer. You could even do expiration date if you wanted. But again, I just like to keep it simple. So, I might say 1 pound rounds of ground beef. And then I have like 40 of them, right? And then today's date, unless I maybe know when I got them. I haven't kept on my inventory very well. So I'm actually looking forward to this. This is really going to help us. I do have sections. So if you want to do meat, vegetables, and then I have fruit, and then other. A lot of times I would put like things like, I don't know, if I have frozen meals, like a frozen casserole or, a prepared meal, sometimes I'll double the recipe. So I'll make enchiladas and I'll make an extra, and that would be a good thing to put in the other category. Or you can just, do the basic item, quantity, and the date. Now that we know how the printables work, let me just show you my freezers. This is our above the refrigerator freezer. Apparently my kids have kept their Frosties. That happens a lot. My youngest also likes to steal food from the freezer. So this freezer primarily is, I try and keep a lot of the pre-made food in here. You can see I have loaves of bread, a pizza. These are like French fries. So there's lots of different types of stuff, but this primarily is pre-made foods. And then this is more of our meat freezer. We have other stuff in here as well, like I have my butter or my frozen jams here. But those are my two freezers, and they can be a mess. This one has to be defrosted once a year, if not twice. And so that can be a challenge as well, because if it gets really frosty, I can't put as much stuff in there. So I'm just going to go through. I'll leave the video running and kind of show you how I inventory, and I'll also organize things a little bit. So it might be kind of messy, but in the end, it'll be totally worth it. The first thing that I'll do is I kind of go through and I move stuff around. For instance, I've got buttermilk here. And buttermilk shouldn't go here. It should be up here. Sometimes it doesn't fit. So things kind of get moved around. And so I try and find a better place for them. Here are where we generally keep our popsicles. And it gets really, really messy. And my kids really like these pops. For whatever reason, so does my husband. We'll make homemade ones when we get strawberries, even sometimes with peaches, but they always go back to these horrible things. I don't like them, but they love them. So I know I have more of them. So again, I'll just put them all up in here so they're all in one spot. It makes my life a lot easier. Frozen veggies. Ice pack. Shouldn't be in here, it should be in the inside freezer. So it's going inside. Oh look, more ice pops. All right, things look a lot better in here. Of course, once I go through this freezer, I might be adding a little bit more, but this will help me give me a start. So now I'm going to take my inventory and just go through it. I'm not going to actually inventory my popsicles because I don't really care about them, but the other stuff I am. So I've got 1 container of apple pie filling. That's homemade. Haven't used it. I even have a date on it, so I can actually use that date. And just add it on here, okay? And then I'm just gonna go through, like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 loaves of bread. I typically make a lot of homemade bread, but I always have store-bought bread on hand for emergencies or making really quick sandwiches. You'd be surprised how much we eat bread. We eat a lot of bread. Okay. I'm just going to go through each of these items and then we'll talk a little bit more about them. Hey guys, Chelsea here again. Today, day 2, I guess you could say, of freezer inventory. I had a little mishap with my phone, so we didn't get to show you all the things. But I'm going to kind of show you where I'm at, show you what the freezer looks like, show you my finished inventory, kind of how I'm going to use that. So let's go. All right, so this is my finished upper freezer. We've added a few things since then. But what I actually pulled out for you, I was going to pull out and show you this box right here is a lot of our homemade items. This is chicken broth. We also have sweet corn, and then in the very back, this is buttermilk. And so I actually just save nice sturdy boxes like this that come like in our mail for those kinds of things. And when I freeze things, let me show you here. When I freeze like vegetables, I just froze some corn today. So when I freeze my corn, I freeze it flat like this. And that way, when it's all done and frozen, I can just put it in a box or a container and it will stay put longer. So this is my big freezer. It's a little bit better. Got my butter up here, jams on the side. And then this is our meat, our beef, and then chickens in that box. And then there's larger things like whole chickens. There's some turkeys, stuff like that. So I think it turned out pretty good, but let's talk about my actual inventory list. All right, so here is my finished inventory list. I don't have dates on most things. Some things I do, like I have some sweet corn that is several years old. So I'm gonna wanna eat these 6 containers of sweet corn before we eat the stuff that I just put in today. But it just kind of tells me on some of the items, I will actually tally it because I know I'm gonna have a lot. Like ground beef, sometimes I'll just do tally marks depending on, sometimes it's in 1 freezer or 2 freezers or 3 freezers. So the tally marks work a little bit better. And then other stuff, like I have 4 rolls of Italian sausage. That's easier for me to, okay, I know a roll is 8 to 10 ounces. I could say 4 10-ounce packages of sausage, but sometimes it's easier just to say how it's packaged. But this is my inventory for these 2 outside freezers. So now this is going to help me, and it already has, like I said, with the sweet corn down here. Our corn is just coming on and getting ready to harvest. We just harvest about 48 ears today. So I know I have 6 packages I've got to finish, and then I can start on the new stuff. So I can just kind of add to that. Chicken broth, I often in the fall will do lots with chicken broth because we might have some of our chickens that we slaughter and put in the freezer, and so I'll know, oh, I should make some broth from the bones. Other things like the apple pie filling. Apples will come on in the fall. We have friends that let us come get their apples. So I know, okay, I only have 1 apple pie filling, so I might want to make some more if I want to freeze it. Could I can it? For sure. But sometimes it's easier just to freeze it. It's a faster process. So that's kind of how I use the inventory to help me. And then I also, with meat, knowing how much meat I have, if I need to get a another beef if we need to get a half a beef or whatever to add for our winter store. So that's kind of how I use the freezer inventory to help our family keep up with our food needs. I hope this video helped. I hope that you inventory your freezer and you come up with ways that your family can benefit from a well inventoried freezer. Next on my list is to do my pantry. I don't know how well that will go. We have a lot in there, but I need to do it because we've got green beans getting ready to come on, maybe hopefully some tomatoes. Our plants this year aren't great, but hopefully this inventory will help you. And if you want a copy, make sure to check out the link in the profile, and don't forget to subscribe for more great videos like this. Thanks.